Hello students, I am glad that you are here. So for today's session, I'm going to teach you on how to illustrate quadratic equation, same as on how to transform quadratic equation into standard form. Okay, so let's start. Okay, but before that, let us now define what is quadratic equation. So quadratic equation, it is a second degree equation, okay, in a single variable of x that can be written in standard form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Take note where a, b, and c are real numbers and a must not be equal to 0. Okay? Pag sinabing quadratic equation class, ito yung palatandaan lang, no? Yung highest degree is 2. Okay? Or tinatawag siyang second degree equation. Now, let us now proceed to the standard form of a quadratic equation. Okay? So, observe class ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Ax squared, that is called the quadratic term. Okay? Bx, that is the linear term. And c for constant term. Okay? Ayan, observe lang yun. Ayan, kapag may exponent na 2, that is the quadratic term. Kapag yung exponent ng variable is 1, that is called linear term. And kapag walang variable, number lang mismo or constant, ayan, kaya po siya naging constant term. Okay? Ayan. Next is, I have here two classifications of quadratic equations. First is complete quadratic equation and incomplete quadratic equation. So, self-explanatory class, no? Pag sinabing complete, involve yung quadratic term, linear term, at the same time yung constant term. Kapag sinabing incomplete, syempre, it's either wala or hindi present yung tawag dito, linear term at the same time yung constant term. Take note class yung quadratic term hindi siya pwedeng mawala sa isang equation. Okay? Ayan. So, again, pag sinabing complete quadratic equation, if b or c is not equal to 0, while incomplete quadratic equation, if b or c is equal to 0. Okay? Ayan. Okay, so before that, okay, so now, tingnan natin yung examples ng complete quadratic equation. Okay, same as with incomplete quadratic equation para makita yung difference between complete and incomplete quadratic equation. Okay? So, for example, incomplete quadratic equation are the following. Observe, x squared plus 4x plus 4 equals 0. 12 equals negative x plus x squared. Next one is x squared equals negative 3x minus 2. And we have 2x squared minus 6x plus 8 equals 0. As you can see here class, present po lahat ng component kanina. We have the quadratic term, yung x squared. Okay? We have the linear term, yung 4x. Dito sa first example. And we have the constant term. Okay? Kaya siyang sinabing complete quadratic equation. Okay? Ayan. So, next is proceed tayo sa example ng incomplete quadratic equation. For incomplete quadratic equation class, for example, x squared plus 4 equals 0. As you can see here class, na, wala yung linear term. We have here the quadratic term, yung x squared, at the same time yung constant term. Kaya siya incomplete kasi may nawawalang isang component, which is yung linear term. Next is 2x squared plus 4x equals 0. Okay? Dito naman, we have the quadratic term, linear term. This time, si constant term yung wala sa equation. Okay? Next one is 5x squared equals 20. Okay? Again, wala po ditong linear term. We have the quadratic term and the constant term. Okay? And also, we have 3x squared equals negative 3x. Okay? Ayan. So, that is an example of incomplete quadratic equation. Kapag wala si b or c, or kung wala yung linear at the same time yung constant term, quadratic equation na rin po siya. Okay? Ayan. So, I guess okay na sa inyo. What is the difference between incomplete quadratic equation and complete quadratic equation? So, let us now move on to the next example, okay? So this time, I have here activity or a short, kumbaga, part of formative assessment, right? So which of the following equations is are quadratic and which are not? Okay? So I'll give you siguro 1 to 2 minutes to answer this activity. Okay? Pwede nyo i-pause. Okay? Ayan. Alright. So, again, the instruction is which of the following equation is our quadratic equation and which are not. So, sagutan na natin. So, in the first quadrant, ito yung first quadrant, no? So, x squared plus 5x minus 6 equals 0. That is quadratic. Okay? Kasi, self-explanatory, no? May quadratic term tayo dyan. Okay? Next, 2x squared minus 8 equals 0. Also quadratic. Next one, 2x minus 8 equals 0. Not. Okay? Sir, bakit po kaya not yung sagot dyan? Observe, kaya po not yung sagot dito is because yung highest degree lang po dito sa equation natin is 1. Okay? Pag sinabing quadratic equation, it is a second degree equation. Okay? And for the last equation, actually this is quadratic. Okay? So later on, explain ko kung bakit naging quadratic yung equation na to. 2x times the quantity of x minus 1 minus 8 equals 0. Okay? Alright. Okay, now, proceed tayo sa transforming quadratic equation in standard form. So, dito na masasagot yung katanungan kanina na bakit naging quadratic equation yung equation na to. Okay? Alright. So, proceed tayo dito sa lesson na to, or transforming quadratic equation in standard form. Okay? Alright. So, example number 1. Again, we have 2x times the quantity of x minus 1 minus 8 equals 0. So, here's the solution. Ayan. So, gagamit lang tayo dito ng distributive property. Okay? Tignan nyo na lang po yung arrow. So, 2x times x and 2x times negative 1. So, yung sagot, ayan, 2x times x, 2x times negative 1. Okay? At the same time, just simply copy negative 8 equals 0. Okay? Now, simplify. 2x times x, that is 2x squared, right? 2x times negative 1, negative 2x. And then, just simply copy negative 8 equals 0. Okay? So, as you can see here, class, we have the quadratic term, linear term, and the constant term. So, naka-standard form na po yung equation na to, yung kanina. Okay? Ito po yung procedure in transforming quadratic equation in standard form. Okay? Again, anyway, class, di ba, this is the quadratic term. So, kung ano yung number na meron dito sa quadratic term, sa linear term, yung constant, tawag po doon is coefficient. Okay? Tawag dito sa kapag may number at the same time variable, yung number na involved doon, tawag doon is coefficient. Okay? That is called coefficient. Try ko kung pwede magsulat dito. Again, coefficient. Ito yung 2, negative 2, that is called coefficient. Okay? Coefficient. Alright? Okay. So, A, that is 2, B, negative 2, and C, negative 8. Okay? So, kapag binigyan kayo ng problem, okay, transform this equation in standard form and find the values of A, B, and C. So, ganito po yung pagkuha ng values for A, B, and C. Kung ano po yung coefficient. Okay? Alright. So, next example. Example number 2. Okay? The quantity of x minus 5 times the quantity of x plus 5 equals 0. Okay? So, gagamit lang tayo dito, class, ng tinatawag na FOIL method. Or we have the first term, outer term, inner term, and last term. Okay? Okay. So, again, the equation, the quantity of x minus 2 times the quantity of x plus 5 equals 0. Using a FOIL method, again, this is the first term, outer term, inner term, and then yung last term. Yung orange, class, that is the first term. Yung green arrow, that is the outer term. Yung violet, that is inner term, and then yung blue, last term po yan. Okay? simplify. So, ito po yung first term, x times x. Outer term, x times positive 5. Inner term, negative, sorry that is negative hindi lang makita yung sign kasi violet masyadong negative po yan. Negative 2 times x. And for the last term, negative 2 times positive 5. Okay? Kaya po siya tinawag na FOIL. Again, first, outer, inner, and last term. Okay? Now, simplify lang natin in class. So, x times x, observe. X times x, x squared. X times positive 5, 5x. Negative 2 times x, negative 2x. Negative 2 times 5, negative 10 equals 0. Now, so, naka-standard form na po ba to? Hindi pa. As you can see here, class, may similar term pa. Or like term, yung 5x at the same time negative 2x. So, ibig sabihin kapag similar term, right, pwede siyang combine. Okay? So, combine lang natin, class, para makuha natin yung final answer. So, what is 5x? 5x minus 2x. Okay, so 5x minus 2x, that is 3x, right? Okay, so for the standard form, we have here x squared plus 3x minus 10 equals 0. Again, where a equals 1, b equals 3, and c equals negative 10. Okay? Again, na-transform na natin into quadratic, in standard form. At the same time, we have the values for a, b, and c. Okay? Yan. So, proceed tayo sa next example. Okay, example number 3. X times the quantity of x plus 5 equals negative 6. Okay? So, for the solution on example number 3, again, this time we are going to use distributive property. Okay? So, just simply distribute yung x dito sa labas ng parentheses, dito sa loob ng parentheses. So, x times x, and next one is x times positive 5. Okay? And eto, syempre, copyhin lang natin. Now, simplify x, multiply to x, that is equivalent to x squared. Right? Next, x times positive 5, that is positive 5x, equals negative 6. Okay? Now, standard form na po ba to? No, hindi po siya standard form. Observe, ito po yung itsura ng standard form. Have ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So, make sure na ganitong form yung magiging result sa equation ninyo. Kasi ito po yung standard form. Ito po yung basihan. Okay? Now, the question is, how are you going to transform this equation into standard form? Okay. So, I'm sure iniisip ninyo using APE or addition property of equality. So, tama naman yon. Siyempre, yung negative 6 dito, kailangan natin i-eliminate. Kailangan mapunta yung negative 6 dito sa left side ng equation. Okay? So, using APE, so ito po yung magiging result. X squared plus 5x, observe, plus 6 equals negative 6 plus 6. As you can see here, class, ganito yung ginawa dyan. Nag-add ako dito ng 6, nag-add din ako sa kabila ng 6 para ma-eliminate natin to. Ito yung purpose, okay? Para ma-eliminate to. Okay, now, x squared plus 5x plus 6, copyhin lang natin yan, equals 0. Kasi negative 6 plus 6 is equivalent to 0. Okay? So, ito na po yung standard form ng quadratic equation. And for the values of a, we have 1. Obviously, yan plus kapag walang number na nakalagay dyan, automatic may 1 po yan. Okay? Kapag wala unlike kanina na may nakalagay na 2x squared. So, kaya naging 2. This time, kapag walang coefficient, automatic may 1 po yan. Okay? And b, 5, c equals 6. Okay? Ayan. So, ayan po yung first 3 examples in transforming quadratic equation in standard form. Okay? Okay, so for your zip work, so I have here, so that is 3 items, no, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, sorry, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, Okay, for the direction, complete the table below, write each quadratic equation in standard form, then identify the values of A, B, and C. Okay? Ayan. So, pwede nyo i-send sa akin yung sagot within this day, or kung hindi talaga kaya, pwede nyo i-send sa akin tomorrow kasi may meeting naman tayo tomorrow morning. Okay? Alright. So, that's all for today. Thank you and have a great day. And the only way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics.